Hi guys, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to become an artist. Maybe you want to become an artist and you don't know how to start. Maybe you just finished college and you are studying something that you didn't like it. And your passion was draw and become an artist. So this is your video, guys. So this video this video idea came up from all the questions I received on Instagram about how to start or how to do to be an artist, how to study to be an artist, do artists gain money with your art, you can make a living from your art. So I'm going to try to respond to all these questions in this video, explaining you all these topics. I know that some of you won't like to know these things, or you don't think they are important to you right now, or maybe you don't feel comfortable, or maybe you don't feel like listening to talk about money. But guys, art is a job, and obviously people have to work to live. So I think it's important, if you want to keep this path of becoming an artist, the first thing I want to start talking about is what type of education you need to be an artist. So basically, you can be an artist from two different ways. If you want, you can go to art school or college to make a degree in fine art, or maybe focus in animation, or focus on character design, concept art. I don't know. Right now there's a lot of offer in this aspect, so you can go through the field you might like more. In my case, I studied fine arts in college, but I didn't work as an illustrator until 2 years ago. I was working as a graphic designer, but I wasn't happy with being a designer. I don't know, the type of work, the type of clients I had. I think they are related, illustration and graphic design, they are not the same at all. And clients are completely different. And I don't know, I didn't like it so much. So in my case, even I have a basis of drawing, very basic base of drawing, because I went to college and I did like 2 courses of drawing only. Basically, I had to taught myself to draw and to learn the programs. Well, I really know how to draw in Photoshop or in Illustrator, but it wasn't something I did so often. And then for now, I am using Procreate and Clip Studio Paint that are very similar to Photoshop, but obviously the tools you're going to use to create your piece are completely different from the ones I used while I was working as graphic designer. So basically, guys, you can go to the art school, you can self-taught yourself, and you have to practice. I say it before in other videos, but you have to, if this is something you really like to do or you really want to do, you have to put all your heart on it. The second step to become an artist, even that you can do while you are at school or while you are working in your day job workspace, is to start creating a social media audience. I covered this thing about talking about Instagram for artists in last week's video, but I think it's important to say that nowadays being artist is so easy compared to years ago, when an artist had to contact a lot of galleries and things to expose their art, because a few years ago the only way you can discover artists or emergent artists or new artists was by going to galleries. And now, guys, the gallery is on internet, so it's super easy to get exposure and share your pieces and share your art and grow an audience around your art style. I think, guys, that as an artist, if you want to do this, you have to be in every social media. I know this is too much. I already said that before, but I think that we have this super massive thing that is internet, and I think that it's super important to be in the correct places to be. For example, Instagram, Twitter, Behance, because Behance is a very huge community around art. Of course, YouTube, DeviantArt. I know DeviantArt was super important so many years ago. I remember I joined DeviantArt in 2002, so it's been a long time, almost 20 years. So obviously at that moment DeviantArt was the best or the most important platform for artists. Nowadays I think this platform is not the most important of it, but it's one of the oldest, and I think you have to be there too. So basically I think these are the social media you should cover. And also, if you want to know how you can start, like in Instagram, for example, you can go back to last week's video. I'm going to put the link over here. Now you have your social media covered, your studies covered. It's time to start thinking about what type of artist do you want to be, or the career path you're going to choose. Right now we have two different type of path. One is being employed from others. You can be employed in animation studios, in video game studios. You can work on newspapers, magazines, publishers, advertisement agencies. Obviously, guys, this is like a super secure way because you receive money every month. I mean, like your salary. And it's true that you can grow on these companies and you can make a living from this. Nowadays also, or right now, they are super important animation studios, hiring people. The same for video games. In the video games industry, there are a lot of artists working on video games right now as concept artists, character design artists. So if you want to go to the safe path, I'm going to say it right. Imagine, guys, that you are in a forest and this is the sunny path where everything looks wonderful, and then it's the scary forest with dark and everything. So this is like the sunny path of this forest, for example. Let's say it this way. Then we have the freelance, if you prefer being more creative and be your own boss. This is a very tedious path, to be honest, because even I think for me is the better one. I just want to clarify this. I think for me it's better be my own boss and do the things I really want to do and have ideas and choose the projects I want to work on. In the other case, you can do that. You have a boss and the boss tells you what you have to do, mainly on which projects you are going to work with. So this, I think, this choose, guys, depends a lot of the person. I think it's a very personal choose. I can say one of them are better from the other. I mean, one of them is financially more safer, and being freelance has their downs and tops, let's say that. As a self-employed, you have to know that your incomes, they are not going to be the same every month. So for some people, this issue can be very stressful. I think that for me it's stressful too, but there are a lot of worthy things behind that keeps me working this way. So I'm going to stop on the freelancing thing because I think it's very important to pay attention if you want to choose this path, to know what you are going through. So basically, guys, if you started already your Instagram account, your YouTube channel, your Twitter, or whatever social media, as I said before, you have to be on all these social media. You have to maintain this social media too, because you are going to receive a lot of job opportunities and clients from there. In my case, all of the clients I had, all the projects I have worked on, they came through Instagram in my case. Also guys, if you have an online shop, or if you're an artist that have an online shop, you can receive a lot of new clients from this social media. So they watch your products, they watch you working, and they see basically what you do, and they can go to your shop and buy your things. So you have to put a lot of effort on social media in this aspect as freelancer. Also as employed from others, you can do that, but of course you are not going to have the pressure to have all the clients coming from there, because you already have your job and you already receive your monthly income, and that's all. The second thing is explain to you how a freelance artist gain money on their work, with their work. And basically we have to do a lot of different type of works to survive. So for example, I would recommend you start taking commissions. Also, I recommend you to have an online shop. You can create your own shop if you have the ability and the resources, if you have the resources to make it. But you can start selling on Etsy, or selling in Imprint, Society6, Redbubble. There's a lot of type of shops for artists that you can join, because I know at the beginning it's very difficult to start buying all the machines you need, like printer, cutting machines, and all this stuff. This is a very slow process if you want to have your online store. We can talk about this in other video because I think that it can fit in another video. Also, you can make workshops for people that they like what you do and they want to learn from you. I think right now, for start monetizing your YouTube channel, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and have more of 4,000 hours watch. Now, it's a very slow process to achieve this, and it's a lot of work to put on. But I think that with consistency, you can achieve it. I mean, there's not impossible, because a lot of people receive money from YouTube, but it's hard work. So, and of course, you can publish your own books. And of course, you can publish your own books and receive some income every year from the sales they made. I'm going to stop here because I want to talk to you about the passive incomes. I mean, we have all these things, commissions, books, YouTube, and all this stuff, and you have to make a difference here. I'm going to stop here and explain you about the different type of incomes you can have as an artist. I mean, I explained which ones you can do, commissions, YouTube, workshops, and all this stuff, but you have to make a difference between active incomes and the passive incomes. For passive incomes, you have to think about it like it's a one-time work that it's going to give you revenue over the time. So for example, publishing a book, you spend a lot of time working on this book, but when you finish this book, you're going to receive money over the time. The same, for example, with an illustration you sell on your shop. You're going to make it, or you're going to spend the time once to create this illustration, but then you're going to sell the copies and it's going to give you money over the time. So in the opposite, the active incomes, they can be commissions. Commissions takes you a lot of time, but it's a one-time thing because you can sell these commissions in your shop, for example. I think it's very important to you to know that you have to do all these things, because You can, as a freelance artist, you have to receive income from several ways, because you are not going to gain a lot of money doing only one of them, at least at the beginning. Maybe with time, you love to work on commissions, you decide that it's the thing you want to do, and you make a lot of money just creating commissions for people. Maybe your online shop works so well that you don't need to make other stuff. But at the beginning, guys, you are going to have to work on all these things. You're going to need to balance all of them. So you will have to know which ones are the ones that are you giving more money at the beginning and which one less. And this is going to help you to know where do you have to put all the efforts. For example, guys, in my case, I opened my Patreon 2 years ago. It's not 2 years ago, 1 year and a half ago. And I realized that I was doing so much stuff and I was receiving so low income that and I realized that I was putting too much time on this Patreon, that it wasn't enough for making a living. I remember I was creating a lot of things and I only gained at the beginning like 20 euros a month. And you can see all the time I spent wasn't worthy at that point. So I had to think on this. I make a reflection on this and decide to keep Patreon simpler and spend all this time to another project instead of Patreon. So I decided at that time to work with commissions. So I spent a lot of time working on commissions and also decide to launch my shop. So you see, guys, that you have to see which things are, at least at the beginning, you have to see which things are working, which things are not. With this, I'm not saying you have to dismiss the idea of having a Patreon, but I think with the experience I had, I think there are like different moments to start launching things. So for example, you start your creative account, you start posting your drawings. The first thing I think you have to do is start taking commissions, because people at some point it's going to ask you for a portrait. So I think commissions is like the first thing that comes in. Of course, at the beginning, you are not going to make so much money from commissions. So obviously you are not going, this is not going to be enough to cover all your expenses. Maybe you can start thinking on creating a YouTube channel and see if you can grow this other social media, or creating your first shop, or not creating, or opening a shop in Redbubble or Society 6 to start selling your prints. I think you have to see when it's the right moment to start making things. In my case, I remember I opened my Patreon when I had around 1,000 followers on Instagram, or yes, more or less 1,000 or 2,000 followers. Of course, I only had one Patreon for 4 months. So I think Patreon, creating a Patreon at the beginning of your journey is not the best thing, because you're going to spend a lot of time on this Patreon. Because if you have 1 people or 2 people, and if you open different tiers and you have 1 person in each tier, you're going to have to do all the content you promise them they're going to receive. And you will see that you're going to spend a lot of time doing that for just 1 people. So my suggestion, if you plan to open a Patreon at some point, try to start with only 1 tier. Don't overload yourself with a lot of things to do on Patreon. I know it's super exciting to open your Patreon and you see people that it's offering 4 different tiers and it still receive a lot of stuff. But in the end, you have to know your limitations in this aspect. I realized of that, and I took a step back on my Patreon last year, and I think it was the best decision ever when I decided to open just only one tier instead of the 3 I had. And yes, you will see, guys, once you start your freelancing career, that you have a lot to learn, and you will know your own limitations, because at the beginning we are super excited and we decide to do a lot of stuff, but then you realize that you can do all the things you want to do. So it's important to balance all this in between the commissions, Patreon, Instagram, because you can avoid posting on Instagram. You have to do it. You don't have to forget about your own personal time. I think in this balance area where you have your work, that it's going to take you a lot of time at the beginning, but you can forget about you and your artist necessities. So I think you have to find the time over the day to just stop working and do things you want to do, and also finding time to get rest and do other stuff not related to art. And the last thing I want to talk to you about is about saving money. You guys, when you start your career as an artist and as a freelance artist, you have to know that you have to save money, because maybe you need to buy more products for your shop, or maybe this month has been very bad month and you are not make the enough money to pay the bills. Or maybe you have to buy materials to create, to make videos on YouTube, or because you work with with traditional art, and you need to buy wash, you need to buy watercolors, papers, I don't know, all this stuff. Also, you have to take in mind that you have to save money to replace at some point the tools you already have, or repair, because they are from the usage, they are getting older and they can broke. So for example, I'm talking about the computer. Maybe at some point you need to upgrade your computer, I don't know, or maybe you have to repair your iPad because of I don't know, maybe you have worked so hard with him and it got broke. So, you have to take these things in mind. So I think it's important to save money, all the money you can, to get this area covered. And with this, I ended up this video about all the being artist, making money of an artist thing. Hope you enjoy this content. If you like, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to see more videos like this. Also, I want to thank my patrons to let me the opportunity to make these videos, because it's because of them that I can make content for YouTube, that I can make content for Instagram, that I can keep drawing the things I like. Also, I'm learning a lot from them. They are my inspiration to make this video, because also these art questions, they also made me, and they are super interested in these things that we have covered in last week, 2 weeks ago, live stream. So thank you, Patreons. Thank you for being there every month. I really appreciate you. You are like my virtual family, and I love you. And say that, guys, wish you a nice, happy, amazing week. See you in the next video. Bye bye.